Welcome back to Oathbound Gaming. Today we're talking about Season of Mastery. That's right. If you don't know what Season of Mastery is, you've come to the right place. So this is classic WoW getting a fresh spin on it in a way that speeds it up, makes it less, let's call it what it is, annoying, right? There's some annoying aspects about classic WoW. World buffing, debuff limit, stuff like that, right? Well, this fixes it. Let's get into the details here, but before we do, if at any time during this video you decide, I'm playing Season of Mastery, this is for me, well, my guild is on Horde, we're raiding pretty damn hardcore, we're going to have details down below, including a link to one of our guild meetings, so you can see what you're getting yourself into. If you like what you hear, come and join us, it's going to be a fun time. Alright, so let's get started. Season of Mastery coming soon. So this was their original post, right? So they straight up say they're going to have slightly more changes. What are those changes? Well, 12 months. 12-month cadence is what they're calling it, which means pretty much 12 months until it completes, right? That pretty much means 10 months to Naxxramas. 10 months to Nax. That's pretty damn fast. Now, I think that's a little too fast, but it is what it is. I'm still going to jump into this. So, Phase 1, we would launch with this, MC, Oni, Maraudin, and then the Honor System and Battlegrounds in instantly. Day 1. That's a pretty big change. Now, you guys that know WoW, you know how this is going to change the leveling, I don't know what you want to call it, the progression through your levels. There's going to be a lot more ganking, a lot more camping, and maybe you stop to do some Battlegrounds on the way. Phase 2, Diamol, Azura, Ghost, and Kha'Zix, nothing special there. Phase 3, we're looking at Blackwing Lair, Darkwind Fair, still nothing special, Zogarub, Green Dragons, AQ, then Nax. Now, let's just say this is the launch, Phase 1, right? 2 months. 4, 6, 8, 10. We're looking at 10 months to Nax. They're talking about 2 months between each phases. That's pretty damn fast. Raid boss updates. This is huge, guys. This is very, very big. World buffs will be disabled in raid instances. That's massive. I don't know about you guys, but personally, I hated it. I hated world buffs. It, like, destroyed the game for me. That along with speed runs and parsing runs that just ruined the game for me. But I know some of you guys really do like world buffs. This might not be the thing for you if you really did enjoy it. So they are removing that. Personally, I love to hear that. No more having to, oh, they're dropping Renthead, everyone log in. Or, oh, let's meet up in Felwood and right-click the Songflower at the same time. Oh, get your Dark Moon Fair buff. You know, I don't know, man. It's work. It's work. I like to just focus on the actual content rather than preparation, you know? You still prepare, obviously you need your consumes and such, but this was huge. Big hit. Restoring mechanics that were removed early on to some raid bosses. So that means Onyxia, her fireballs would conflag a target. And a conflag is like it's almost like a confuse for a few seconds where the target sits in the same area. They have like an animation where they throw their hands up and kind of like they're screaming because they're on fire. That will do damage to the target. They won't be able to do anything. And if anyone's nearby, they also get conflag and then do damage to nearby targets with them. So that's one of the mechanics that I can think of. I know Hakar had like a threat reset. Like there's some mechanics that are going to make the fights much more difficult. No boss debuff limit. That's awesome. So people can use more. You'll see deep wounds from all the warriors on the bosses. You'll see corruptions, and assuming you have more than 4 warlocks, Curse of Agony, like you'll see a lot of stuff. Maybe Moonfire, which you shouldn't see on the boss, but whatever. Insect Swarm is great, but anyway, it's nice to see that. And then there's some melee weapons that put debuffs on bosses, and people will be like, oh, you can't use that melee weapon in the raids because it's going to put a debuff on the boss, right? That's no longer a concern. So that's huge. And then increase health on bosses to offset player buffs and the removed debuff limit. That's pretty big. So we're looking at higher health on bosses. 10 of these changes is for this experience to feel somewhat more challenging. So that's their goal. They're trying to make the game a little bit harder. Faster leveling. Right now, they have 40% increased experience gained from quests and a little bit more of a boost from elite and dungeon quests. So, and that like additional boost to elite and dungeon quests, there's not like an actual finite percentage because it varies based off the level of the quest to the player that's turning it in. So that percentage increase kind of like varies a little bit, so there's not really a set formula. But for instance, I tested it last night, turned in a Scarlet Monastery quest into the Scarlet Monastery, for you guys that know the game quite well. Gave like 7,000 something experience with the 40% boost. then an additional like 1200 on top of that. It's like a 17% additional XP I got at like level 38 when I turned it in. So it's pretty substantial. So this is designed around getting people into dungeons and doing elite quests and kind of grouping up while questing a little bit more to push people to quest, right? Push people to do that rather than mage boosting, which we're going to get to. Quality of life updates. Increased mining and herb nodes. That's massive. And then meeting stones are now summoning stones. Take it or leave it. Not a big deal. Now we're going to go into the beta that we've been playing, right? We've been playing this beta. My guild and I have been practicing on it. We've been through it from the beginning, from week 1. We're now in week 3 at the time of this video. They had it capped at 30, and then they went to 45, and now it's 60, right? The XP rate was first 25. They upped it to 40. They did their testing. PvP honor system was enabled. Warsong Gulch. They added a PvP realm, right? So that's how the beta was going. Now that you're caught up to speed, now I'm going to talk about this week. This was huge this week. This is the additional dungeon and elite quest experience that I was talking about. That's that. High Elf Watchers have made an appearance in the Ironforge Library and Undercity Apothecarium, seeking to chronicle those who bear a soul of iron. I'm going to show you guys what this is in a little bit. We're going to jump to that at the end of the video. For you guys that played in the hardcore community, and I don't mean hardcore like very dedicated, like, you know, my guild is, like, we used to call ourselves a hardcore guild, but now it got a little confusing because the hardcore terminology kind of got converted over to meaning if you die, you delete your character, right? That's what hardcore now means. Blizzard has implemented something, Soul of Iron type of thing, that's kind of along the hardcore character experience. We'll get into the details. It's not going to delete your character if you fail it, but it should satisfy those hardcore players that want to play without deaths. I'll show you. We'll jump into it. But anyway, world buffs now be removed inside of raid instances, so they added that. Significantly less experience is now awarded to players who kill a creature while in a group with one or more players who are much higher level than the creature that was slain. That's the end of mage boosting right here. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to kill the instance boosting where you have a mage level 60 in even SFK. You know, you ever zone into SFK and people would stand near the gate, they would just AFK while the mage pulls everything to the other side of the gate, AoEs everything down. Then they'd go to the next dungeon and marauding and all these dungeons to try to mage boost, right? Well, so you could be a lazy, let's be honest what it is, it's a lazy bastard. I did it. I sat AFK. My guild member's like, hey bro, I'll boost you while you're PvPing on your main. Cool. And my cat doesn't like mage boosting either, as you can see. So they're working on getting rid of that. And I know you guys that have played, you've seen it in chat constantly spam 15 gold a run, mage boosting, BRD, whatever it may be, right? It's going to be nice to see that kind of axed. Looking for group tool from Burning Crusade is now present in Season of Mastery. I thought this was a weird addition. Nobody asked for this. And the community manager he's not great. He does his job quite poorly in my opinion. But this is nobody asked for this. It's not great though. Anyway, it doesn't like automatically put you in an instance or anything like that. It's the Burning Crusade version of it, so it's not a big deal. But nobody asked for that. Kind of weird. Adjustments have been made to some of the dungeon enemies. All undead creatures in Stratholme will now gain immunity to snares 30 seconds after entering combat and gain immunity to roots after an additional 30 seconds of combat. Marauding. Many creatures in Marauding will gain an immunity to snares 30 seconds after entering combat and gain immunity to roots after an additional 30 seconds of combat. Marauding again. 30 seconds after gaining immunity to root effects, enemies gain 50% increased movement speed. Marauding in Stratholme. Any type of crowd control, except snares or roots, will reset the snare immunity, root immunity, and speed buffs. Zul'Farrak. Zombie trolls and Zul'Farrak now drop fewer lucrative treasures. Most of the loot previously dropped by zombie trolls have been redistributed to other enemies in the dungeon. Now they're not only trying to hit mage boosting, they're trying to stop instance farming as being the best way to make gold, where you're just sitting there alone all day in your instances, AoE farming, AoE grinding mobs to make a lot of gold, right? And I rather like these changes, and I understand why some people might not like it, because that might have been your main method of gold, right? You were looking at me or looking at this video and saying, "What? I used to farm Zul'Farrak 24/7." Maybe that's the point, though. I get it. I know it hurts in the gold pouch, right? In the coin purse, whatever you want to call it. But the game's an MMO. It's kind of designed to get you out there in the world, like getting resources, looking for whatever arcane crystals and herbs and all that stuff. So at least it kind of gets people out of instances a little bit. We'll see how it goes. Adjustments have been made to enemies in Onyxia's Lair and Molten Core. All creatures have had their health increased. All creatures, not just bosses. Several mechanics that were removed in early versions of World of Warcraft, typo, have been restored to certain bosses in both raids. It's going to make it a hell of a lot more difficult. And tomorrow, Thursday, right? Yep, tomorrow's Thursday. They are including the template, so you can start raid practicing. My guild will be raiding. Join us for it. It'll be fun. Whether you want to join the guild or not, you can certainly join us for raids. It's going to be a good time. Little last thing on the developer notes. I think this is worth reading. The adjustments to the group experience in Stratholme and Maraudon are the first round of changes meant to curtail boosting or power leveling of low-level characters in Season of Mastery. These changes should be largely invisible to groups who complete this content at an appropriate level with an appropriate group composition, while making many methods of kiting, gathering, and killing a large group of enemies much more precarious and inefficient. Please note that in Stratholme and Maraudon, the auras that grant immunity to slows and roots can also be reset if a creature is afflicted by a hard CC such as a polymorph or shackle undead. We'll see more updates coming next week. I'm sure this is the third week of the beta. We'll see. I have a feeling the beta is kind of winding down, and we might be seeing a release this year, guys. And that's a good topic to talk about before I jump into the next thing. People keep asking, when do you think this is going to release? During week 2, I kept telling everyone, wait until week 3. If they up it to 60, it is likely to release this year. They did up it to 60 this week, and they're giving us instant 60 characters to test raids this week. That leads me to believe they're kind of in a rush to finish the beta, and we're looking at more of a, if we're in October now, we're October 19th, the beta's probably going to close, I see it at the latest, the 2nd or 3rd of November. At the latest. It might close next week, 26th, 27th, around there. But I don't see it going beyond the 2nd and 3rd. And then, in that case, we could see the last week, or maybe the 23rd around here, or this very last short week of November be the release, or any time in December. I could see late November to December being a release because of how rushed this is kind of... And it's not rushed in like a bad sense. It's just... Rust as in, okay, let's go to 60, let's go to raiding, here's your instant 60s. They didn't really give anyone time to like level to 60 pretty much at all. So it's just interesting. You can kind of judge their rate, their plans based off the rate that they're releasing content in the beta. But anyway, let's jump to the final portion of this video. I want to show you guys that the High Elf Watch is for the Soul of Iron. I thought it's pretty interesting. You guys should see it. Let's do it. So here we are in Undercity on a level 1 rogue with the default UI. I didn't set up any add-ons for this character, so don't hate me too much. There's a new NPC here in the Apothecarium. Watcher Morta. Let's talk to her. Let's talk. Let's see what she's got. I seek to chronicle the stories of those that have never known defeat, those that carry with them a soul as strong as iron, undaunted and unbroken from their first steps to their last. Why would one pursue this path? I do not pretend to fully grasp their motivations. There is no reward for a life of such hardship. Perhaps that is what makes them so fascinating and so admirable. Are you one such soul of iron? Yes. Ooh, Soul of Iron, Season of Mastery, never known defeat. Then I shall chronicle your story for as long as you still walk unbroken across this mortal world. Know that there is no throne that awaits you at the end of your path, no material prize of worldly treasure. If you fall, I will cease recording your tale. There can be no second chances, but you wouldn't have it any other way, would you? That is awesome. So props to Blizzard. Super cool to see them take a look at the hardcore community and go, this is awesome. This is something we want to support. And they did just that. Now, I know there's a plan to add like an emote that you can have. We're going to relog and see if it appears, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be in the game just yet. But we're going to go ahead and nope, it's not there. But we're going to die on purpose. All right? We're going to see what happens when we die. Let's hearth out of here. I could certainly drown myself in the ooze, but with the undead racial of increased underwater breathing and stuff, we're going to sit there forever. So we're going to take our level 1 rogue, and we're going to go die. All right? Now, you can do this on like a level 30 character, for instance. But you cannot have died at any point during your character. Otherwise, you can't even pick it up. So you have to make sure when you reach that NPC, you haven't died. Now, people are mentioning, oh, there's going to be a tabard and a title. There's been no such information from Blizzard about a tabard or a title. In fact, the NPC says very, very strongly that there is no reward. So these people are getting this information from who the heck knows where, but it's starting to pick up like steam, like it's already confirmed. There's no information from Blizzard about any reward for this at all. Quite the contrary, right? NPC made it quite clear that we're not getting anything. It's just a challenge. But I'm going to show you what happens when you fail it, when you die. What happens? So we're going to go ahead and get killed by these 2 dust bats and a young scavenger wolf thing. And we are dead. Boom. So you see like your soul fragment pops out of you where you die. And you get a debuff. Tarnished soul. Tarnished by death. All stats reduced by 1%. And if I check my stats, sure enough, you're seeing the reduction in stats right there. That's our 1% reduction. Now you might be saying, wow, that kind of sucks. What if I want to continue playing this character? If you go back to that NPC, you can have it removed. Let's do that. We are back in Undercity. Real quick, before we talk to the NPC, I'm just going to show you what that spell in your spell book is supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like this. It is supposed to work, but it's broken at the moment. We're supposed to give you a Soul of Iron spell in your spell book. Display your victories over the flames. It's pretty much an emote. It goes on a 1-minute cooldown, so you get a cool little emote while you're doing it. You can kind of show off a little bit that I'm doing the badass hardcore run, you know. But we're going to talk to the NPC. What do my stories tell? Alas, I see that you do not bear a soul of iron anymore. Do not despair, for your soul is determined and resilient. There is beauty in your mortal imperfections, but it is not what I seek. Perhaps in another lifetime we shall meet again, and our conversation will end differently. Relieve me of this burden. Debuff gone. And now my stats are back. Very cool of Blizzard to actually do this, though, and support the hardcore community. For me, personally, I'm more about the end game, the raids, the PvP. It's not really the hardcore type of aspect like this. I'm more of like a very try-hard, sweaty gamer, right? That's usually what I do, but I do like it, though. I like to see Blizzard actually do this, and I'm honestly shocked. I'm like pleasantly surprised to see Blizzard develop something new for Season of Mastery. They're not just tweaking numbers, tweaking boss health and XP values. They actually put something brand new in the game. This is the only new thing coming in as far as like the old mechanics. They're coming back, but you know, they're old mechanics that were in the game at a previous time that were removed in patches when they deemed it, I don't know, too difficult or something, so they axed some of the abilities. Blizzard's bringing that back, but this is brand new. This is brand new, so props to Blizzard. Really cool to see you guys actually look at the WoW community and say, wow, there's a big following for the hardcore community. Let's throw something in there to support them. Super cool. And what do you know? We got a player that looks like he's going to take on the challenge. This guy will never know he's in this video, but let's see. Let's see if he does it. He's inspecting, he's reading right now, he's going through the lore, he's feeling inspired, or she. They're ready to go. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be the one undead warrior to hit level 60. I'm going to be the... Boom! There we go! She has taken the task on. She has taken on the Tarnished Soul, and she's already dead somehow. So that means this player already died before they came here. So they picked it up, and they instantly got the debuff because they've already been dead before. You could have been a hero. You could have been somebody. Thanks for being my guest without even knowing it. Don't tell that person, though. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Throw us a sub, throw us a like, and please, if you're going to be playing Season of Mastery, we have a guild that's mainly based in the US, but we have plenty of Australians and Germans and New Zealanders. We'll all get together and kick ass together. So Friday nights is when we're looking to raid. Take a look down below for one of our guild meeting links. Maybe you get inspired to be like, I want to do that. I want to be that hardcore player, that try-hard player. Not hard, I keep saying hardcore, but not hardcore as in the you don't die. Try hard is what we're now calling ourselves. As much as that term has like a negative connotation, we're going to be the try hard guild, all right? We're going to be the sweaty gamers. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Skit!